Hi all. Today I'm going to show you how to put in some elastic on your armrests. Now I'm just recycling some elastic that came off a pair of socks, and I cut them off the socks and then I cut them individually so that they were no longer loops, and now I'm going to sew them together so it'll be one big loop. So I'm not a master seamstress, I'm not doing anything special. I'm basically doing a whip stitch on one side along the edge, and I flip it, and then I do a whip stitch on the other side. I just make sure it's, stretched a little bit, and then I just whip stitch it on the other side. And that's only just to make it strong enough to hold. This is just the knitted elastic tops of a pair of socks. So it's nothing fancy. You could use store-bought elastic if you like, but I just found it better to, recycle things instead of sending them to the landfill. I was going to cut these off the top of my socks anyway because they were too tight for my ankles. And I do it on the other side as well, so that it's now a loop instead of just a long strip of elastic. And I made sure that it would stretch over the handles of the armrests, just to make sure. So yeah, this will fit over my armrest. And you can do that by just taking one half of it and stretching it. And if it's the length, which is 10 inches here, it will stretch. So now I'm just putting a slip knot on the end of the yarn. I put it through the elastic loop, and then I put the slip knot onto my hook. And then I'm just going to fasten it onto the armrest cover. So now I'm going to just do single crochet over this recycled elastic so that I'll have a stretchy armrest cover that will hold a little bit onto the arm and won't slide around while I'm working during the day. I mean, it already is pretty fitted, form fitted, but I'm just going to go ahead and put this little bit of elastic in just as a little extra assurance that it'll stay put. Now you don't have to fold the elastic, but it just seems to naturally want to do that, so that's what I'm doing. I'm just letting it fold. It can twist inside the pocket of the crochet. It can, just as long as it fits and it slides through. And I just, every now and then, I just give it a little stretch just to see, how it's going to look. And I go all the way around, and, periodically I have to kind of stretch it out and let it snap back so that I have enough room to crochet the stitches, because it starts to get tight towards the end. You see how it bunches up a little bit. But that's what we want. We want it to get a little bit snug around the opening. And so then I put my crochet hook through the first top of the stitch versus that slip stitch that I put on the hook just to attach it to the rest of it. And then of course I go through and do a lot of stretching to get it to kind of even out a little bit, because it can be bunchy in some places. The other thing is when I do my yarn end hiding, when I hide the yarn ends, I sew them in. I don't go across the project, because if it's a stretchy project and you stretch it, the yarn will start to slide, and especially something slippery like Care-On Simply Soft it's just a mess. It just starts to unravel and the ends come out. So I don't generally go side to side. I go up and down on the project so that when it stretches, it's not pulling on those hidden yarn tails. You just don't want them to come out eventually. Now this top one, I had to specifically hide it a special way. So I hid the top of the stitch and then behind two of the stitches. And I didn't want to go into the same column as the previous yarn tail. So I went over to the left one. And also before I started really anchoring it down, I wanted to make sure it was loose enough to keep that pocket shape around the back half of the elastic pocket. I just didn't want it to be pinched. I wanted it to match. So those are some of the things I was thinking about when I was hiding my tails specifically for this project, because it has a give and a stretch in a certain direction. And I did it 3 times for the last one, just to make sure that they were well secured. And now that it's complete, you just give it a good stretch and give the yarn a chance to be evenly distributed across the top. I chose black elastic because it matched my chair. So that's another consideration, is you want to make sure that you're using something that will match your chair, because it's going to gap and you will see it. The cushion video was another video, so if you wanted to see how I made that out of Prime Amazon bubble mailers, you can see the link below in the description box and take a look. I also have the first video in this 3-part video series that shows you how to actually make the crocheted armrest cover itself, and how to measure that and to make it snug. So here is our completed project after 3 videos, 3 short videos, I might add. So this is a very easy project. You could probably get this done in a weekend. So please give it a try. If you have any questions, don't hesitate. Give me a shout out in the comments if you need any help. I'm on Facebook, so please connect with me and enjoy taking some scraps and things that would normally go in the landfill and turn them into something useful, and it'll make your day a little bit happier. Please like and subscribe, and check out my link tree. I have lots of different places I post. Thanks for watching. Crochet your way today with Tina.